boys and girls. It's Miss Lisa, the art teacher. Welcome back to my table of art. Guess what I woke up to this morning? Snow! It's snowing out. What a great way to start the day. And what a great day for a project that involves snow and snowmen. Today we are going to build a snowman together. So I have sent you many sheets of paper. We're going to build the snowman using the shapes of circles. So if we're going to use a circle, we'll need a large one for the bottom of our snowman. And, whoopsie, here we go, a smaller one for the top. Usually there's 3 circles to a snowman. Today we're only going to use 2. If you want to add another one, it will either be at the bottom of your snowman or the top. If you put it at the bottom, you'll need a larger circle than this one. If you put it at the top of your snowman, you'll need a smaller one than this circle. But I think for this project today, 2 will be enough. I've also sent you some clothing for you to dress your snowman. It's going to be cold out there, so he's going to need some mittens. So you have some mittens. He'd also like to keep his neck warm, so you also have a scarf. Here's his scarf. And it's best to keep your head warm because that's where all the heat escapes when you're outside playing. So if you keep a hat on, your head will stay warm, which means your whole body will stay warmer. So I gave you a choice. You could use the elf's cap, you could use a top hat, or you could use a knitted hat. You have a choice of 3 hats. What we're going to do today is we're not only going to build our snowman, but we are going to decorate all the items of clothing that we're going to put onto our snowman. But we're going to use lines. We've been studying lines. Do you remember the lines we've been studying? Straight lines, zigzag lines, curvy lines, looping lines. Let's do it in the air with our fingers. Let's make a straight line from one end to the other. Ready? Let's go together. Everybody get your fingers ready. We're going to draw in the air one straight line across. Did you do it? How'd you do? Okay, let's try again. One straight line. Ready? Right across the screen. There we go. Okay, let's try a zigzag line. Remember, that's like a zipper. Ready? Zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. Almost like we're drawing pointy mountain caps. Zigzag. One more time, okay? Zigzag, 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 zigzag. Very good. How about we do a curvy line? More of a softer mountain look. Ready? Up and down, like a roller coaster. Up and down, up and down. Very good. Let's try that one more time. Ready? Up and down, up and down, up and down. Very good. Give yourselves a round of applause. That was wonderful. So we're not only going to use our lines when we decorate our scarf and our mitten and our top hat, we're also going to use shapes, because when we use shapes, it makes it much more interesting. We could use circle shapes in our design. We can use squares. We could use triangles. We could use any shape you'd like. So we're going to use lines. We're going to use shapes. We're definitely going to use color. Now you may use anything you'd like today. You can use your crayons. You can use your markers. You could use watercolors. You can use both your watercolor and your crayons. Remember, crayon resist, where the water will roll right off of whatever it is that you designed using your crayon. You can use markers, anything you want today to decorate your clothing items, okay? So we have lines, we have shapes, we have color, we have one more thing we'd like to practice today, and that is patterns. And a pattern is something that will repeat. So if you drew a design in your scarf, it would be a design of maybe, this is an example, square, circle, square, circle, square, circle. That is a pattern. The design repeats. Square, circle, square, circle, square, circle. You can also make a pattern with color. If you made stripes going down your scarf, you might do the colors in red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. That's a pattern. Or you can add another color, red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow. Hey, those are the primary colors. They're the magic colors that make up all the colors in our rainbow. Did you remember that? Well, I'm glad I told you then. Okay, so how about we get started with our snowman? We're going to need some items. You all should have a big piece of blue paper. Now I'm using the blue paper because our snowman is going to be white. And if we put a white snowman on the white paper, we're not going to see him. And another reason I'm using the blue paper, can anybody think? Why would I choose blue? Well, I'm going to tell you. With our colors, we have warm colors and cool colors. Blue is considered a cool color. And when I think of the snow, I think of, ooh, I'm so cold. So this is a cool color, blue. I'm going to send you all these sheets with the snowman shapes and all your different accessories. So in order to cut them out, what do you think we're going to need? We're going to need a scissor. But you must always remember your scissor safety. We never walk around with a scissor. But if we had to go put a scissor away, we would never walk around holding the handle. Scissor safety, we take the palm of our hand and we cover that blade. So no matter what, nobody's going to get hurt with this scissor point. Okay? That's scissor safety. You're also going to need some glue. You can use either liquid glue or you can use a glue stick. Or you can get a cup of glue, Elmer's glue, water it down with some water just to make it a little bit thinner. And you could use that with a paintbrush. You could use any way you'd like. And you may choose anything you'd like to color your accessories and your snowman with. Okay? So how about we get started? Let's start with the big circle out of the two circles you have. We have the big one and the little one. I'm going to start with the large circle, and I'm just going to cut him out. And you have a big black thick line that you could either cut around so you don't see the line. You could cut on the outside of the line so you see the whole black line. You could cut any way you want. Do the best that you can. And you know what? If it doesn't come out like a perfect circle, I wouldn't worry about it. You know why? When I make my snowman out in the snow, it's never a perfect circle. Sometimes he actually comes out looking like he's a square or octagonal shape. So don't worry if your circle is not perfect, okay? So here's the first part of my snowman, and now I'm going to cut out the second part. And if you're not keeping up with me, guess what? This is a video. We could put it on pause. You could stop the video, cut out your snowman, and come back to me. So that's one good thing about teaching from a video, although I way prefer being in front of you in the classroom, because you know why? I could see you, I could laugh with you, we could talk together. Right now, I just talk to myself. Kind of lonely. But our day will come when we'll be together in the classroom. Now I'm going to throw this away. Normally, I never throw scrap paper away. But this is like printing paper, and there's not really much I can do with this. So I'm going to throw this one away. Okay, now, this is the point where I'm going to bring you down to my table so you can see everything I'm doing, okay? And this is where I need my glasses. So, let's get started. My helping hand to bring down my computer screen so you can see my desk. Okay, here we go. Hi. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it so you could see it the right way. Here's my snowman. Here's my whole big piece of paper. What I want to do, let me see if I can make it so you can see the whole paper. Okay, not much. All right, this is a big piece of paper. So you want to try to make sure you're putting your snowman in a spot where you can fit his hats on and they stay on the paper and everything else that goes with them. So I'm starting on the bottom third of my paper. So if your teacher's there, she's going to help you. We're going to position our circles on our paper. So let's take our first circle and we're going to add some glue. I'm going to use the glue stick because I like the glue stick when I'm doing demonstrations because it dries really fast. And I'm going to stick my first circle down on my paper. So I've left a lot of space on the top, but not as much on the bottom. Now I'm going to glue his head. Again, I'm using my glue stick. And I'm going to stick it. I'm going to stick it not on the top of the circle. I'm going to come down just a little bit where it overlaps part of the bigger circle. Now you can do this. You don't have to. You could place it on top of the other circle. But we want to make it look like the snowman's body. Okay? So now, once you're done with that, let's put this aside because it's time to decorate our clothing. So we're going to start, we have a scarf, we have our mittens, and we have 3 hats that we can choose from. Now, you can decorate every one of the hats, and you don't have to glue the hat down. You could put a little tape on the back, and you could switch his hats every day. I think I might do that. So I'm going to use my crayons to create a design in my scarf. So I'm going to show you my lines that I'm going to make. Watch what I do here. I'm going to start with a zigzag line with my crayon. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. I made 4 zigzag lines. So look what we did. We used our lines, we used our color, which is purple, and we made a pattern. This is repeating. You don't need more than one thing to repeat. Here's the same line repeated over and over. That's a pattern. I'm going to add more lines as I go along. So while you're decorating your scarf, I'll be decorating mine. So how about we meet back here in a few minutes? Okay? I'll see you. So go design your scarf and we'll meet back here in a few minutes. Welcome back. I finished my scarf. How did you do? Let's look at what I did on my scarf. I added a different line. I added a straight line to my zigzag line. So I have straight, zigzag, straight, zigzag, straight, zigzag, straight, zigzag. And I continued that throughout my scarf. I created a pattern using 2 different lines. I decided since I used crayon to create my line design and my patterns, I would use the watercolor to paint in the rest of the scarf and the tassels. I used the crayon resist technique where the water rolls right over the crayon because of the waxy substance that it's made from. So the crayon shines right through the watercolor. And hey, look! I created a pattern down here with the tassels using the color. Green, orange, purple. Green, orange, purple. Green, orange. So I have 2 different patterns in my scarf. I'm going to put this aside for now, and I'm going to start working on my mittens. Now, you don't have to match what your scarf is doing. You could create anything else you want on your mittens. They don't have to match. So feel free to explore the different materials as watercolor, crayons, markers, anything you want, colored pencils. Just have fun doing it. And I'll see you back here when I'm done with my mittens. Okay? Go color your mittens. Okay, I'm done with my mittens. I decided to make them match my scarf. I don't know, I just like when colors match. But you don't have to do it that way. But again, I created a pattern at the cuff of my mitten using my colors, purple, orange, green. purple, orange, green. I made my mitten kind of a multicolor tie-dye look. And again, the pattern on the other mitten, purple, orange, green, purple, orange, green. So I'm going to put my mitten aside now, and I'm going to start with my hats. Now my hats are all going to be different, so I'm excited about getting started with this. I'll see you back in a little while. Go decorate your hats. Alright, so I finished decorating my hats, starting with my elf's hat. I used some green and orange lines to go through the top of the hat, and then I painted over it with green watercolor so I could see my lines going through the hat. I added some shapes, a star shape, to the cuff of the top of the hat and painted over it with my watercolor and made a purple pom-pom at the end. On my knit cap, I also used some shapes. I used some squares. You could see the green squares under the green paint. I used some circles. And I used some triangles to create a design in my hat. It's also a pattern because everything is repeating. And then I did my top hat. Top hats are generally a shiny black color. So I did some crayon and I did some watercolor. So you could really see how the watercolor resists the crayon on my hat. And I did just a purple stripe across it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out all of my accessories. So how about we go and cut out our accessories, and we'll meet back here in another minute. Just remember your scissor safety as you're cutting, okay? See you back here in a minute. Okay, I haven't cut them out yet, but I want to show you what I do. I separated my mittens. It makes it so much easier to cut if I only have one mitten to cut at a time. So just think about that if you need to cut, okay? Now I'll see you back here in a minute. I'm going to go cut my accessories. Okay, boys and girls, I'm back. And I've cut out all my accessories. I have my elf's hat. I have the knit cap. I have the top hat. My nice warm scarf. And my warm mittens. Now, all I need is my snowman. So we're going to use our snowman almost like it's a cutout paper doll. And we're going to dress our snowman. So play around with him. See where you want to put your mittens. See where you want to put your scarf or your hat before you decide to glue it down. And if you want to switch hats, don't glue it down. Just put a little tape on the back. So I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to bring it down to my table so you can see how I'm going to do it. So come on down and see how I decorate my snowman. All right, here he is. So let's start with his scarf. Well, obviously the scarf's going to go right here, so I don't have to decide where to put the scarf. Of course, the scarf is going to go right there. Now my mittens, where do I want my mittens? Do I want him to, now you remember this is upside down here. Put him out on the side. Should he be going like this? Do I want him to put his hands down to the side? That's all up to you. I can't see, I'm upside down. I hope his hands are the right way. Now for the hats, let's look. Do we want to give him a top hat? That's cute. Do we want to give him the elf's hat? I like that one too. Or do we want to give him the snow cap? Oh my goodness, I think I like all three of them. Well, before I do that, what's missing on my snowman? Did you say a face? Well, if that's what you said, you are absolutely right. So let's start building our face on our snowman. Now with this, you can use anything. You could use your markers, you could use crayons, you could use colored pencils. And I think for this, I'm going to use my markers. So let me get my markers out and put them away. And let's think about that song, Frosty the Snowman. Frosty the Snowman was a very jolly soul. And what were the parts that they said about him? he had a corn pipe and 2 button eyes. And his buttons were made out of coal. I can't remember the song. If you know the song, then you could sing it. But I'm going to make black buttons because I remember that there was something about coal buttons. Frosty the Snowman was a happy jolly soul with a corn cup pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made. Oh, his 2 eyes were made out of coal. I'm not going to make his eyes out of coal. I'm going to make his buttons out of coal. Why would I use coal? You know, back in the day, coal used to keep the homes warm. So the kids would probably run into the house after building a snowman and then start making the buttons, using the buttons to make their, using the coal to make their buttons, and maybe even coal to make their eyes. So I'm going to make coal eyes. Coal is like a black rock. It's a little softer though than a rock. And what did we always see on snowman for their noses? They're orange and they are shaped almost like a long skinny triangle. What is it? A carrot. Let's make our carrot nose. A big long skinny triangle. That's a carrot nose. And you can make his face any way you want. You want him to be a happy snowman, a sad one. I'm definitely making a happy snowman. Big happy face because he's with his friends. And we can put arms, and at the end of our arms, what can we put at the end of our arms? We could put our mittens. So usually if anybody had a snowman outside, they would use sticks to create the arms, branches that they might find on the ground. So I'm going to have to find my brown marker because branches are made with brown, or branches are brown, so I'm going to make my arms brown. And we just stick those arms right into the snowman. Some go out like that. You can make your arms going in any direction, or you don't even have to have arms. But I kind of like the arms because you know what? I'm going to put my mittens right at the end. See that? And look, they could stick off the paper. That makes it really cool. I like that. So that's cool. We've got our arms, our face, our body. We don't need to do any boots, do we? That's up to you. Or you could just make a nice horizon line and fill it with some white crayon to make snow underneath him. Okay, so let's start dressing our man. Let's pull out our glue sticks. Place everybody back where we want to put them. My scarf, keep my little snowman warm. Ugh. And my hat, I like this one to start, but I'm not going to glue it down. Look what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some tape and I'm going to switch his hat off. This one will have a little tape on the back, so I'll start with this one. Because I can't decide which one I like the best. I'll put a little tape on the back of this one. And I'll put a little bit of tape that I rolled backwards with the sticky side up on my top hat. So he says, Mom, my hat's wet. I need a new hat. Okie dokie. Let's switch it off to this hat. Okay? Alright, so now let's glue down the ones that are staying, which is our little mittens, these cute little mittens. I love it. These are so cute, and he's going to be so warm out in the cold. And I'm going to glue down my scarf. Now this project takes a long time, so you might have to do this in 2 weeks. Don't worry about it. You do it as you can. Most important, you have to have fun, okay? I'm even going to let my tassels stick up a little bit. I'm not going to glue them down. Gives it more of a three-dimensional feel. And I'm just going to tape on the knit hat. And I'm going to bring this up to say, I'm done. What do you think of my snowman? I think he is adorable. Now, see, he's kind of like floating in the sky, so you can keep going with this. I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to find a nice white crayon. See, this is the beauty of art. You get inspired as you go. And I'm inspired right now to add some snow. So I'm looking through my crayon box. Oh, here we go. And I found a white crayon. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring you down to make this more of a snowy scene, okay? Come on down. How do we make snowflakes? Let's make an X, because X marks the spot. And we'll put a line through that X. There's a snowflake. You see that? So let's add some snowflakes to our snowman picture. Oh, and we could go crazy with this. We could do so much more. We could add glitter. We could do whatever we want. And you know what? This is with a crayon, so it's not real dark. But if you use like pastels, okay, now I want to draw what's called like a horizon line. Or I want to separate the sky from the land. So I don't want him floating in the paper. So I'm going to draw a line almost to where his waist might be, but a little bit lower. And I'm going to make a line go out that way. And I'm going to make a line go out that way. And I'm going to fill this area with my white crayon to give it a look of snow. And if you have white glitter, you could add that to your snowman, to his snow. Just ideas. Because we don't have to stop here. We could just keep going and going and going and snowing and snowing and snowing and make it all more interesting, all more glittery. You could even add little appliques if you have any little shiny pieces you could add, or buttons you could add to decorate. This could go everywhere. This could go crazy. I love this project because you could use your imagination and go wild. Just keep going. But most important, have fun. Okay? Boys and girls, this is Miss Lisa, your art teacher, saying ciao for now from my table of art, and I'll see you next week. Go have fun in the snow. Hopefully it's still snowing. I don't know if it's still snowing. I haven't been out there. All right? Bye-bye. Miss you guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.